Welcome to the podcast of Terrace Consulting. Hello and welcome to another episode of the podcast. Today I have Dan Benzaquen, who is born and bred hotelier, has been basically in every country working an expat his whole life. And I want to touch base with him on his career, his experience, and also his mentoring work that he's doing at the moment. So Dan, good morning for me, good evening for you. How are you?
Good afternoon. Very good. How are you doing?
Very good. Thank you very much. And thank you for giving me some of your time. Dan, as I was saying, you were born and bred hotelier. So I'd like to start from there. Or for you to start there, how you started in the industry and what took you to where you are at the moment in Jakarta, Indonesia.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I was born and bred in hotels. My father is a hotelier. Grew up in several countries: Turkey, Mexico, Germany, France, Singapore, amongst other places. From the age of 17, I basically started working in Club Med. My first job was a water sports instructor at the age of 17 in Bintan, which is an island just across from Singapore. So during my vacation times, I was going to work. After high school, I went to a hotel school in Switzerland, Lyon. Graduated there with a bachelor in business administration, and went straight into management training with Sheraton in China, and I really enjoyed working in front office. So ever since, grew from there. Joined Mövenpick in 2007 in Dubai as a front office supervisor. Stayed in Dubai all the way till 2013 with Mövenpick, and did about 3 hotels. Amongst those, I did 2 openings as a front office manager, and then as an operations manager. Then moved to Thailand with Pullman in Bangkok as a hotel manager. After that, I moved briefly with Six Senses in Vietnam, and then rejoined Mövenpick and was with them for almost 4 years in Jordan. Where I was cluster general manager for 2 properties in the south of Jordan, in Aqaba, managing those 2 big resorts, and then had the opportunity to come here to Indonesia to take over this beautiful property, Pullman Jakarta, Indonesia, just after the acquisition of Mövenpick Hotels and Resorts by Accor, and I've been here since now almost 18 months. So here we are.
Mm-hmm. It was in Indonesia. I was telling you before, I haven't had the luck to be there. So you worked in France, China, the USA, the Emirates, Thailand, Vietnam, Jordan, and now Indonesia. Question: there are a lot of people that I interview. They tend to have this kind of mobility. Would that be linked to success? So is geographical mobility a path to success or prerequisite to success?
I don't think it's a prerequisite, but it does help in terms of the growth. I mean, hospitality companies have a usual doing of, in order for you to go and get into higher positions, they test you. So you may not get New York, you may not get Paris, you may not get all these flamboyant cities at first, but they will give you an opportunity because at least you're getting experience in more difficult locations. So I think that may not be a prerequisite, but if you want to really grow within the hospitality world, it is good in order for you to get some experience under the belt. It definitely helps.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. No taken. And now you've been there 18 months. I mean, you've been GM for several years. What is the daily life of Dan in Jakarta as GM of the Pullman Hotel?
I'll talk about a daily life prior to the current crisis that we're living with. I mean, the daily life is waking up pretty much at 5 o'clock in the morning and starting to read the news, take care of my baby, as well as starting to read the reports, getting to work around 7:45, 8 o'clock, and start running the hotel. First breakfast, then the back areas of the hotel. If I have any events during the day, go and check and make sure that the setups are there. Go and obviously say hi to the team. It's always important to be close to the team. Then spend maybe half an hour in the office before the morning briefing, and analyze a little bit the pickup of the hotel, where we're standing in terms of our forecast, in terms of our budget, if there is anything that that is important to be answered to for head office or for the owning company. And then get into the morning briefing, understand what happened the day before. And then after that, it's meetings, meeting customers. Very important to be around the customers. So after morning briefing, usually going towards the breakfast, spend some time with customers, go to the executive lounge, get some time and speak to the loyal guests. During the week, at least to have a couple of sales calls as well with the sales team in order to understand the needs of our clients. And I mean, what is important is obviously to always keep a finger on the pulse and understand what's happening in the market, what's happening with our competition. So always stay in touch with our dear friends around the city or in our campsite. And then by the end of the day, we do the same thing as in the morning. Full round of the hotel once again, inspect a couple of rooms, make sure that we see some our employees. We get to ask how their day went, get to see some customers, and then around 7-8 o'clock in the evening get back home.
All right. Well, that's a long day, but yeah, it's very nice. No, I like what you say. Meeting customers, meeting the staff. That's very, very important. Be there, showing the face to both internal and external customers. I really like that. Mm-hmm. And having been there already 1.5 years, is there anything that makes Jakarta to work special to work in? Is it the destination itself, the team, location? What is it?
I mean, the hotel where I'm at is on the Champs-Élysées of Jakarta. It's a very historic property that opened in 1972. It was the second 5-star hotel in the capital city. So it comes with a lot of history and a lot of loyal customers in that sense. Jakarta is a pure business city, meaning that from your Monday to the Friday is going to be hectic. Weekend is usually a bit quieter. But Indonesia, obviously, I mean, in Southeast Asia, working with Indonesian people is a fantastic thing. You get to really understand their culture. You get to really see, what they live for, and it's very nice to be around them. And I mean, it's not new for me because I had the opportunity to work and live in Singapore and in Thailand and in different places, but I really love that about Southeast Asia, in particular Indonesia. I mean, people are so genuine, and it makes it very different to other places around the world where you really need to win the people in order for them to work with you, instead of them just do whatever you're asking. You really need to get them to really like you and love you in order for the operation to just run smoothly.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's nice. I like it, being genuine. And give you some trouble with this question now. You've been in so many countries. Any favorite one that you can pick?
I think that each destination has great points, but I do carry several destinations in my heart. The latest one would be Jordan. I did spend 4 years in Jordan. Very unexpectedly, I never thought that I would actually go and move to Jordan. Initially, Jordan was a task force assignment. It was supposed to be 3 months, and it ended up being almost a 4-year stretch. Love the people, love the country, love the food, love the history. I do carry that specific country in my heart.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it's nice. Actually, I had the luck to go there a couple of times for work in Aqaba, yeah, and yeah, it was a very, very special destination and people, as you say. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, from north to south, you have taste for everything you want. It's great.
Yeah, true. Okay, moving on. Current situation, we cannot avoid it. I didn't want to focus on that much. So just one question on that topic. How do you see the outcome? I saw some news this week that China, they already passed the same-day occupancy compared to last year. So they are picking up massive domestic market. So how do you see there in Jakarta?
I mean, Indonesia lives from foreign tourism. I mean, so far we're living essentially on domestic. If I compare to prior, I mean, my domestic market was about 40% of my business before. So that segment is still alive. Month of November and December are looking very, very positive. But I do think that as soon as the borders in Indonesia reopen, it's going to pick up. Indonesia has so much potential that foreign investment is really going to start coming back in, and we will see a bit of a slow pace at the beginning of 2021, but I do believe that by the second half of next year, we'll see great trends of business. So I am very optimistic about this.
Brilliant. Good. Okay. Optimism then. Perfect. One point I want to touch with you, it's about the historical, well, maybe bad fame that the hospitality industry has in terms of investment on training and developing people. Okay. So how do you see that from your point of view? You've helped develop many people in your years. So how do you see that part of the industry?
I think that the industry over the past couple of years has really taken a bit of a change or turn on that. If I take the example of Accor, they've really spent a lot of money on developing digital training, on getting a lot more focus on learning and development, and on developing their people. With the growth and the amount of hotels that are being signed amongst hospitality companies, the only way forward is to develop the people, because they will need a substantial amount of general managers, a substantial amount of heads of departments, a substantial amount of this. So the only way for the development to be sustainable is by developing people from within. Letting people go at the end of the day is just unsustainable for any company. So to answer the question, I think that I agree. A decade ago, I think training was definitely not the priority. I think that today and most of all, actually over the past year, I'm going to say everything really accelerated a lot more because hotels were closed, because you've had to retain a lot of employees, you had to keep them busy, and to keep them busy, the opportunities to develop them, to give them more skills, to refresh skills, to try to get them to understand and re-enter new programs, go and do digital learning and this type of things. I'm a fond of training. I've always believed in developing. I've had the opportunity after hotel management school to start as a trainee and grow from within. So I think that hospitality companies today do understand that this is now a priority and therefore invest a lot of money on developing their people.
Perfect. Okay. No, taking, and I want to link that to the next question, which is sharing some advice to mostly young people who are maybe either considering to start studying anything related to hospitality or tourism, or already studying and considering, well, what's going to be about my future, what's going to happen given the current scenario. So what will be your advice or your tip to those people?
I mean, keep an open mind. Okay, today hospitality world is facing probably the worst crisis it ever had in history. But let's not forget, hospitality is one of the oldest trades, and it's been surviving for years and centuries. So for anyone that is getting into this business, number one, it's a great thing. I'm in love with this trade. I'm in love with this industry, and if you get into this trade, keep your open mind. A lot of the youngsters want to get in and say, "Oh, I want to be in sales. I want to be in marketing. I want to be in the luxury segment. I want to be in this." It's not for everybody, and you may actually find out that you prefer to be in food and beverage, or to be in the culinary department, or to be in front office, or even in housekeeping. I have the example of a front office manager that we have here, and we didn't have an executive housekeeper, and we decided to move her to housekeeping. She refused to go back to front office because she discovered a passion for housekeeping. And I think that this is something that anyone getting into the industry needs to understand, is our industry is so varied. There is so many different specialties that once you get in, don't only keep your mind into one specific position, because you may find out that you actually have passion for another point of our industry, or that you may start with the position that you actually want and develop yourself to get into another trade. So yeah, I think that these days does not really give you the actual beauty of what hospitality is. It is a scary world for any graduate today from any university. Uh, but we will turn it around. Whether it's within the next 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, it's gonna come back. People will continue on traveling, um, and therefore the jobs will be there for them.
Okay, another optimistic message there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And one thing that is public, I mean, it's on your profile. You are a hotel operations mentor with the Growth Works. So can you expand a bit more about what you're doing, mentoring professionals?
I started that because obviously during the lockdowns in Europe and also here in Indonesia, I mean we were lucky enough we didn't close our hotel, but I had some time to spare, and I really enjoy talking to professionals. So the idea initially was to cover crisis management, but then we started expanding, and obviously it's a mentorship program, but it's more of a brainstorming session. So in my group, I've had guest relations manager, I had operations manager, I had management trainees, I had corporate people that wanted to get back into operation, and what we try to really discuss is how to attack a different crisis, or how to discuss about a different situation. As I touched point, couple of months ago was budget season, and some of them it was the first time that they were going through a budget. So what I like to do was to basically help them out in understanding which angle to take and what arguments to really stand when talking to their general managers or when talking to their owners, and really get to give them a little bit of an outside eye onto their jobs, and maybe give them a bit of an advice as to how to make it better, or how I would do it as I held their positions. One of my mentees was working on a pre-opening, and he had never done a pre-opening before. So
especially in these challenging times.
I basically tried to help him out with a checklist, or tell him there is some traps in pre-opening between contractors and the operators, and what can you look at in order for you to make sure that in the year time when your hotel is open, you don't fall into a difficult situation. So a lot of different topics that we look at on operation, because that's my specialty, and try to really attack any type of topic. I really enjoy it, and I hope that they do as well.
Absolutely do, yeah. I mean, you've been doing it for over half a year, so I'm sure they're enjoying it. No, it's great. I mean, to have people like you giving up their time to help others. No, that's brilliant in that sense. Okay, I was taking some notes, as I always do. I was looking about being very close to your team, very close to the guests. So I like the fact that you mentioned you walk around in the morning and in the evenings to talk with both guests and staff. I mean, going from the beginning, you were born and bred. You lived in so many countries already when you were a child that obviously that took you to that road. And as you were saying in your own words, being an expat all your life. When you mentioned Jordan, how hospitable the people are and how you keep it close to your heart. The priority that hotels are giving now to training, and how this time, one of the positive things about this time is that it's really given people time and companies to develop and help teams develop in terms of training there, and advice for young people. We talk about keeping an open mind as a temporary thing, and the good thing will come up that they should find their path and keep an open mind in that sense. And a good example about moving from front office to housekeeping and discover a new world, one of your team members, and about mentoring and brainstorming and helping others. That's okay. That's my recap. I want to add one last thing, a lighter note about the beautiful shirt you're wearing. So you were telling me before we started recording, it's called a Batik. I have no idea about it. So you want to expand on that, please?
It's basically called Batik. So it is an Indonesian art. So each Batik shirt is actually unique. It is, I mean, in the Philippines, you have a similar trend, a similar type of outfit. In Malaysia as well, Batik exists. But the UNESCO certified that Batik was actually Indonesian art. So Batik shirts can be between $20 or $10 to thousands of dollars because they are handmade. Some are silk and they are literally painted by hand. And it is actually the traditional, let's say, tuxedo. It is like a suit for Indonesia because the weather is so hot. It's a very classic shirt. So the whole government, all the ministries, the president wears batik when meeting other foreign ministers or presidents. So for us in the hotel, every Friday we usually wear batik, and so you see different types of batik, different types of dresses batik. I mean, obviously, the more it evolves now with the trends and with the you get to see all types of batik. So yeah, this is my batik. It's actually my favorite batik. Yeah. So there you go.
Brilliant. No, it's great. I mean, it's learning about like local, customs, and brilliant.
Yes.
Really nice. Good, good. Okay, that's all from my side. Anything else, Dan, to add from your side?
No, I think that, love the podcast. I think that hospitality is definitely an industry that everybody should look at. It's a beautiful industry. Everybody goes into hotels, into restaurants, into this type of industry. So thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure having that discussion with you. And yeah, come and visit Indonesia.
Hopefully, sometime soon. Okay, thanks, Ang, for your time. And
Thank you.
Okay, cheers.
Thank you.
That was all for now. Hope you found it useful. Remember that you have more information on our website www.torresconsulting.co.uk, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and Twitter. Stay well. Goodbye for now.